Nicole, I read in today's paper that a university student spent too much money and owed the bank a few $100,000 in credit card debts because he loved brand products too much. In the end, he became desperate and tried to commit robbery.
Credit cards certainly make it more convenient for people in big cities to shop and spend money. When you buy something and pay by credit card, you don't have to pay for it in cash immediately. You only need to settle the credit card payment by the due date. We should pay off the loan in full by the due date. Otherwise, the bank will charge us a high interest.
How high is the interest?
Now let us go warm up first, and I will explain to you in detail.
Nicole, we were talking about credit card interest. How much is the credit card interest?
The amount that the card holder owes the bank is called the principal. The interest rate is a fixed percentage. The bank will calculate the interest based on the principal, interest rate, and time, that is, periods. We can use a simple example to help us calculate it. First, we will start off with simple interest to teach you the basics of the calculations. The concept of simple interest is that during the whole term of the loan, the interest of every period will not be added to the principal. If someone has a $10,000 credit card debt with an annual interest rate of 24%, that means the annual interest rate is 24%. Let's calculate the debt after 3 years for simple interest. Simple interest equals principal multiplied by the interest rate per period times the number of periods. The interest for 3 years is $7,200. That means after 3 years, the amount, that is the sum of the principal and the interest that the card owner owes the bank, will be $17,200.
Wow, we have to pay back $17,200 if you borrow $10,000. That's a lot.
In the previous example, we used simple interest in our calculation to make it easier for you to understand. Actually, the interest of credit card debts is calculated with compound interest. After a certain period, the bank will calculate the amount with the principal and interest rate. The interest of every period will be added to the principal, which then becomes the new principal. So, the amount of every period is equal to principal times 1 plus interest rate in brackets. The amount will become the principal of the next period. Therefore, the amount will increase according to a fixed interest rate. Let's apply compound interest to our calculations in the previous example. The cardholder has a credit card debt of $10,000. The annual interest rate is 24%. The bank calculates interest once every month. If the cardholder doesn't pay any money in the whole period, what is the interest after 3 years? We have to deal with the interest rate first. The annual interest rate is 24%. And the interest is calculated once every month. What is the interest rate per period?
The interest rate per period is the interest rate per month. The annual interest rate is 24% divided by 12, that is 2%.
Right. The interest rate per period is 2%. Let's calculate the interest for the first 2 months and see how the amount will change. Let's start with a principal of $10,000. The amount after 1 month is $10,000 times 1 plus 2% in brackets. The amount becomes the principal of the next period. After 2 months, the amount will be equal to $10,000 times 1 plus 2% in brackets to the power 2. Again, the amount becomes the principal of the next period. Then, after 3 months, what is the amount?
The amount after 3 months will be equal to $10,000 times 1 plus 2% in brackets to the power 3.
Can you tell me how many times will the interest be calculated in 3 years? And what is the amount after 3 years?
The interest is calculated once a month, and there are 36 months in 3 years. That means there are 36 periods. The amount after 3 years equals $10,000 times 1 plus 2% in brackets to the power 36. It is about $20,399. After deducting the original principal of $10,000, the interest after 3 years is $10,399. The interest is much higher than when it was calculated with simple interest.
Smart! Let's run!
Make it a great day.
Since the interest of each period is added to the principal when calculating compound interest, in the long term, the interest calculated under compound interest will be more than that with simple interest. The interest rate of credit card debt can be even higher than that in the previous example. The interest rate can be calculated every day, and there may also be a processing fee. Therefore, the debt can be even greater.
So we need to be careful when paying by credit cards. We shouldn't become slaves to our credit cards.
Before spending money, we should think carefully and live within our means. When you grow up and start to work, you will also use credit cards. Remember to use your credit cards prudently and manage your finance well. Got it!
Make it a great day.
We were just talking about proper financial management. Other than paying attention to how much we spend, we should also save money.
Yes, I've been saving some of my pocket money so that I can go abroad to see how other people live after I graduate from secondary school.
That's good. So you'll have to give up some of your entertainments now to meet your saving target.
Sure will. Nicole, I heard that banks have time deposit and current savings. How are they different?
Banks mainly have 2 types of saving accounts, current and time. You can earn interest from both. For current savings, you can withdraw and deposit anytime. It is flexible. For time deposit, the depositor should agree on a period with the bank. They will withdraw the money only at or after the due date. Normally, if the deposit period is longer, the interest rate is higher. For example, assuming a bank offers an interest rate of 2% for current savings, and the interest rate is compounded half-yearly. At the same time, the bank also offers an interest rate of 3.6% for time deposit of 3 years, and the interest rate is compounded quarterly. If you have $10,000 and you would like to deposit it for the interest for 3 years, you can choose current savings or time deposit. Let's calculate the difference in interest of the 2 plans.
Okay, let's calculate the interest for current saving first. Current savings. Annual interest rate, 2%. The interest is calculated every 6 months. Principal, $10,000. Period, 3 years. The interest is calculated every 6 months. The interest rate per period is 2%. Divided by 2, that is 1%. There are 2 half years in 1 year. The number of periods is 3 times 2, which is equal to 6. The interest is the amount minus the principal. That is $10,000 times 1 plus 1% in brackets to the power 6 minus $10,000. After 3 years, the interest for the current savings is about $615. Now, let's calculate the interest for time deposit. time deposit for 3 years. Annual interest rate, 3.6%. The interest is calculated every 3 months. Principal, $10,000. Period, 3 years. The interest is calculated every 3 months. The interest rate per period is 3.6% divided by 4, that is 0.9%. The number of periods is 3 times 4, which equals 12. The interest is the amount minus the principal. That is $10,000 times 1 plus 0.9% in brackets to the power 12 minus $10,000. After 3 years, the interest for time deposit is about $1,135. By offsetting the interest against each other, we know that if we save money for 3 years, the interest under time deposit would be $520 more than under current savings.
Correct. When we choose different saving plans, we can calculate the interest first to find a better plan. When choosing saving plans, we have to think about whether the plans suit our needs.
When is it unsuitable?
For example, if you need to withdraw the money after 1 year, you shouldn't choose a time savings plan that is longer than 1 year.
Right. In the previous example, although the interest rates are different, with the same period of 3 years and the same principal of $10,000, the interest of credit card debts is over $10,000, while that of bank savings is merely $1,000. The interest of credit card debts is much greater than that of bank savings.
Let's take a walk in the park.
Okay. Other than saving, I heard that some people will buy things that keep their value. What is that all about?
Things that keep their value can be seen as investment products. The buying and selling of investment products involves a lot of learning. Actually, many things become worthless after we buy and use them. For example, cars, pianos, electronic products, etc. Their value decreases gradually over time. The decrease in value is called depreciation. We can use a fixed decay rate to calculate the value of things.
Is there any example?
If I buy a mobile phone at $2,500 and its decay rate is 20% every half a year, we can calculate its value after 3 years. Original price, $2,500. Decay rate, 20% every half year. What is its value after 3 years? After half a year, the value of the mobile phone has depreciated by 20%, so the new value is $2,500 times 1 minus 20% in brackets. After 1 year, the value of the phone depreciates by 20% again, so the new value is the previous value times 1 minus 20% in brackets. That is $2,500 times 1 minus 20% in brackets to the power 2. Then, how do you work out its value after 3 years?
The decay rate is 20% for every half a year. There are 6 half years and 3 years. That means we are calculating the depreciation value after 6 periods. The value of the phone after 3 years is $2,500 times 1 minus 20% in brackets to the power 6. It is about $655. Actually, the calculation of depreciation and compound interest is similar.
Good. Now you can transfer knowledge. When calculating compound interest, the principal will be increased according to the time by a fixed interest rate per period for n periods. The amount equals the principal times 1 plus the interest rate in brackets to the power n. As for depreciation, the value of products depreciates according to a fixed decay rate per period for n periods. The new value equals the original value times 1 minus decay rate in brackets to the power n. You can see that the two formulas are similar. It increases when the amount is calculated, so the plus sign is used in the formula. It decreases when we calculate the depreciation value of products, so the minus sign is used in the formula.
I see. Nicole, let's talk about savings again. Do you have savings?
Of course I do. There are different modes for different saving needs. Some are for spending from time to time. Some are for living needs after retirement in the long term. Some are for salaries tax, etc. in the short term.
Daddy said he also needs to save money to pay the salaries tax. Does everyone pay a lot of salaries tax?
Some people pay more, while others pay less. Some people don't need to pay it. To understand the calculations of salaries tax, you need to understand the concepts and the related vocabulary. Would you like to know about them?
Yes, I do. Please tell me.
Salaries tax is collected by the government once a year. By law, it is a tax that taxpayers who work in Hong Kong need to pay on their income. The salaries tax in Hong Kong is calculated with progressive tax rates and standard tax rates. But let's just talk about progressive tax rates today. The government sets various types of allowances and items for deduction, such as basic allowance, child allowance, and dependent parent allowance, etc. While expenses of self-education, home loan interest, and approved charitable donations, etc. are deduction items. To calculate the salaries tax with progressive tax rates, we will first need to deduct the deductions and allowances from the total annual income. The result is the net chargeable income. This is the base for the salaries tax calculation.
If the net chargeable income is equal to 0 or a negative number, what should we do?
If the net chargeable income is equal to 0 or a negative number, you don't have to pay salaries tax. My sister does think while she listens.
Of course.
The tax rates under the progressive tax rates changes according to the amount of the net chargeable income. Progressive tax requires people who earn more to pay more tax. This fulfills the affordable users pay principle. To understand the calculations, we have to use some real examples.
Great! We can start calculating again.
You said you would pay attention and asked me to talk slowly.
I have been paying attention. The net chargeable income equals the total annual income minus deductions and allowances. Under progressive tax rates, the tax rate is changing according to the amount of the net chargeable income. This fulfills the affordable users pay principle, right?
Yes, Smarty Pants. Let's get back to tax rates. Take the tax rates of the financial year 2016 to 17 as an example. The tax rates of the first $40,000 of the net chargeable income is 2%. The tax rates of the next $40,000 is 7%. The tax rates of the next $40,000 is 12%. The remaining amount has a tax rate of 17%. If Mr. Chan's net chargeable income in the financial year 2016 to 17 is $180,000, let's calculate how much salaries tax he has to pay. First, we divide net chargeable income into a few parts according to the progressive tax rates.
$180,000 equals $40,000 plus $40,000 plus $40,000 plus $60,000.
Then we calculate the tax of each part according to the progressive tax rates.
For the first part, the tax is $40,000 times 2%. This equals $800. For the second part, the tax is $2,800. For the third part, the tax is $4,800. For the fourth part, the tax is $10,200.
Right. Finally, the salaries tax equals the total of the tax for each part.
The salaries tax that Mr. Chan needs to pay is $18,600.
Shall we do one more?
Okay.
Miss Lee's total annual income in the financial year 2016 to 17 is $250,000. Her deductions include MPF contributions of $12,500 and approved charitable donations of $1,000. Her allowances include basic allowance of $132,000 and dependent parent allowance of $46,000. Now, calculate the salaries tax that Miss Lee needs to pay. You should calculate the net chargeable income of Miss Lee first.
The net chargeable income equals total income minus the deductions and then minus the allowances. That is $58,500.
We can then divide the net chargeable income into a few parts according to the progressive tax rates.
$58,500 equals $40,000 plus $18,500. For the first part, the tax is $800. For the second part, the tax is $1,295. The salaries tax that Miss Lee needs to pay is $2,095.
Correct. Let's compare the percentage of the salaries tax on the net chargeable income in these two examples. In Mr. Chan's case, the percentage is $18,600 divided by $180,000 times 100%. This is about 10.3%. For Miss Lee, the percentage is about 3.58%. You can see that the higher the income is, the higher the percentage of the salaries tax on the net chargeable income. These two examples show that progressive tax can fulfill affordable users' pay principle. Now that you know how to calculate progressive tax, if you could choose, would you like to pay more or less tax in the future?
Paying more tax means I'll have a higher income. I would choose a higher income and pay more tax.
You are a responsible citizen. Your contribution to society allows the government to help people in need. However, in addition to working hard, you also need to have good financial habits and to live within your means. You should also save according to a plan to pay your expenditures in the future.
Got it.
We will now go home and cook our lunch. Shall we go to the market together?